Hi everyone! I will show you now how to install the Freme framework on your computer. After this webinar, you should be able to use Freme locally. This means that you should have access to the Freme data that is used for enrichment, to all Freme e-services, related assets, templates, pipelines, etc., without accessing the Freme Live installation. So let's start with the prerequisites. These instructions are made for Ubuntu users. I will show you the installation procedure with Ubuntu 16.04 LTS. You should have 50 GB hard drive space available, and we recommend to have 8 GB RAM. You might also be okay with 4. This also depends on the number of languages that you want to use. If you want to use more than 2 languages, you should have a more powerful computer. There are a couple of programs that need to be installed on your computer. These are Java version 8 or higher, Maven, MySQL, and Git. And further in this webinar we will use curl and Postman. Per default, Freme uses port 4002, so this port should be accessible. And during the installation, port 8983 and port 8890 should be open such that we are able to see the web UIs of Solar and Virtuoso. Since I already have all these programs installed on my computer, I will start with the installation right now. Let's start with creating some directories. We need a main installation folder, which I will call Freme install. I will put it into my home directory. Inside this directory, I will create a temp folder and a downloads folder. We will need at least one named entity recognition model. You will find the models for all available languages under this URL here. I will now just download the English model and put it into the downloads folder that we just created. While you download the NER model, you can already think about the Freme distribution that you want to use. You have 3 different choices: the basic, the standard, and the full distribution. The difference between these is the amount of pre-initialized data. This article in the Freme documentation will give you more information about them. The basic distribution does not include any datasets for linking. This means that Freme NER will only work for the modes spot and classify. If you choose this basic distribution, you can skip some steps later in the installation process. In this webinar, I'd like to cover all necessary steps to get a working Freme installation with Freme NER available in all 3 modes, spot, link, and classify. So I will use the standard distribution now. Only if you choose the standard or the full distribution, you will have to download the Freme NER dataset dumps for linking. This is the URL where you will find them. The download will take a while since it is a quite big file. I have already downloaded it and put it into the Freme install downloads folder. When your download is finished, you can directly unpack the file with this command. I already did this because it also takes a while. Then in the end you should see 2 folders here, Solar and Virtuoso. In order to run Freme, we need a runnable Freme package. They are inside the Freme packages project, which resides on GitHub. Now we will clone this project to the temp folder we created before. The packages differ in the services they include. Since we want all services, we built the Freme full package. We do this with Maven. So first we go inside the Freme full folder, and then we build the package with Maven package. so this is done. Then we move the Freme package folder inside the target folder into the main installation folder Freme install. So we have the target folder, and inside this target folder we have a Freme package folder. We move this, move target Freme package to the main installation folder, which we have stored in the home directory, and we call it Freme install. Freme uses a MySQL database which stores predefined templates, pipelines and so on for processing input. We will create this database now. For this we need to log into MySQL. And create the database. I will call the database Freme, but you can choose any name you like. Then we exit MySQL again. Hibernate will fill the database with empty tables when Freme is started for the first time. Later on, we will fill the tables with data. We will do this with some SQL scripts that are available on GitHub. This is the URL where you can find them. We need init template. Just copy this. I will copy it into the downloads folder we created in the beginning. Then we need init XSLT converter. This one here. And we need init Sparkle converter. Besides this MySQL database, Freme also uses Virtuoso and a Solr server to store data. You will need version 7 of Virtuoso installed on your computer. Since there is no package available yet, we need to install it from source. You can find installation instructions on GitHub under this URL here. In the future, there might be a package available, so it's probably worth checking it. I've already installed Virtuoso 7 on my computer, so I will just start it now. For this, I go to the database folder inside the Virtuoso installation folder, which is installed under user local Virtuoso open source in my case. From here, I will start it with this command. I am using nohub because I do not want Virtuoso to shut down when the shell is closed. Let's see if Virtuoso is running now. For this, I will open localhost 8890, which is the default port of Virtuoso. Yes, when you see this website, you're fine and Virtuoso is running on your computer. Okay, then I will stop Virtuoso again with this command here. And then when SQL opens, we have to type in shutdown. Okay, now I can check if Virtuoso is still running this command. And I don't see any Virtuoso process running. This one is just the grep process itself. We recommend to shut down Virtuoso always like this, because with other commands such as kill, it might take a lot of time to repair internal indexes and the database when Virtuoso started again. Next, we have to install the Solar server, which stores the Freme NER data. I have already downloaded it and put it into our temp folder. So let's go back to the temp folder. From here you can download the Solar server from this URL. Okay. When your download is finished, you have to unpack it. After it, we need to make it executable. So we go inside the installation folder. And execute this command. Then I'll go back to the temp folder and move the Solar installation folder to the main installation folder, that is one folder up. Now we should be able to start the Solar server. So we go to its installation folder that we just moved and start it. Okay, so this seems to be working. We can check it again by going to its user interface. This time we have to open localhost on port 8983, which is the default port for Solar. So let's do this. If you also see a user interface like this one, it worked and Solar is running. Here you can see the start time when you started Solar. Now it's time to make some configurations for Freme. First, I will create a folder for the NER models that we downloaded in the beginning. I will call it Freme NER models. And then I will put the downloaded models, in my case it's just the English one, into this new folder. Now we need to make some modifications in Freme's application.properties file. It is located inside the config folder in the Freme package folder. Since the file contains passwords, I have already made all changes in the application.properties file. I will show it to you now with a copy of that file. For modifying the file, I will use Vim. To start editing, you have to press E. Now we are in the insert mode and we can make modifications. First, we check if the Solar server address is correct. It should point to the port on which Solar is running on your computer. So I only have to change the port from 8985 to 8983 here. Next, we have to modify the location of our NER models, which is configured here in line 4. In my case, it has to be home, Britta, Freme install, Freme NER models. So I only have to change my name here. Remember that properties files have a strict format. It must always be key equals value without any spaces. And also make sure that you don't forget the slash in the beginning before home here. Then we need to configure the MySQL database that we created before. This is configured in these 4 lines here. Spring.datasource.url must point to the MySQL database. So we insert the name of that database here. I call it Freme, so I will change this to Freme. Then you have to change the username and password in the next 2 lines to the credentials with which you created the database. When you have done this, make sure that admin.username down here is set to admin and admin.create must be set to true. This is because the predefined XSLT converters is human admin user. Otherwise, filling the XSLT converter table will fail later. To stop editing, press Escape and then :W for writing, return, :Q for exiting, return. Now we should be able to run Freme, but first we have to make it executable. Okay, so now we can start Freme with the start server starting script. It takes some time until Freme actually starts. You can verify it by checking the log file. When you see started Freme starter in X seconds, Freme has started correctly. You can exit the log file by typing Ctrl+C. So I will show it again. Okay, so here it is. Freme is running now. Now the empty tables in the MySQL database should have been created by Hibernate. We can quickly check this. So here you have to use the name of the database that we created in the beginning. And here we can see the tables that were created: dataset metadata, pipelines, Sparkle converter, template token user, and XSLT converter. So let's try to do the first API call to our local Freme installation. Let's use the NIF Converter endpoint to get some plain text converted into NIF. I will use curl to do the request. Great, this is as expected. The plain text was converted into NIF. But so far, we are not able to make use of the predefined Freme data such as templates. This is what I will show you next. If you haven't downloaded the MySQL init scripts before, you should do that now. You can find them on GitHub under this URL here. I put them into the downloads folder, so let's go back there. Here they are. Now I will load these data dumps into the Freme MySQL database. So first, I have to log into MySQL. Then I select the database Freme and execute the scripts. And the last one is Sparkle converters. Let's check it. I'll just select the ID and the label. Yes, so if you also chose the Freme Standard distribution, you should also see 8 different templates here. It is important that you only execute the scripts once, such that the data is only inserted once. Otherwise, it will cause problems for some requests later. Filters need to have unique names, for instance. If one filter is found more than once in the database, you will get an error. There's one more thing we have to insert to the database. This is the metadata for the Freme NIR linking datasets. You can skip this if you chose the basic distribution of Freme. The MySQL commands for loading the metadata are on the documentation webpage. Under Knowledge Base, Freme for System Administrator, and then Initializing Freme, this article here. You have to scroll down, and here you will find them. The first one here is for the standard distribution, which is less than for the full distribution, here. I use the standard distribution, so I copy this one. And execute it. Then we can quit MySQL again. Now, if we do a request to Freme NIR and ask for the names of all Freme NIR datasets, we should see DBpedia and Europeana, or more if you chose the Freme full distribution. Let's just do this. So here we see DBpedia and here Europeana. So that worked. But we are still not able to use these datasets for linking because we just haven't loaded the actual datasets to the Solar server or to the Virtuoso Triple Store. If you just want to use the basic Freme distribution without the Freme NIR linking mode, you can skip loading data into the Triple Store and to the Solar server. I will show all others now how to do this. Let's start with the Solar server. So we will go back to its installation folder. And then we will create a core called elinker. If Solar isn't running anymore, start it again with this command. Mine is still running, so I don't have to do this. So let's create the core. Okay. Then we stop it again. Okay, this is done. Next, we remove the elinker folder and replace it with the pre-configured elinker data we got when we unpacked the Freme Standard or Freme full tar file. That's the file we got from unpacking. Now we move it to the server location. And then we can start Solar again. When we started the first time with the new core, it will take some time until you can use the core. Now we will load the Freme data to the Virtuoso Triple Store. Let's see if Virtuoso is running. Okay, so for me it's not. This is just from the grep command itself. If it is running, you should stop it with the isql command we used before. Okay. Now we move the content of the Virtuoso folder that we got when we unpacked the Freme distribution, which is inside the downloads folder. Here it is. Now we move its content to the database folder inside the Virtuoso installation folder. For me, this is like this. Okay, then we can start Virtuoso again and test if it worked. But first we need to go inside this database folder. So I'll just copy this. Okay, let's see if this worked. For this, I'll go to the user interface again on localhost 8890. Now you should see this website again. Then I'll go to the Sparkle endpoint and run this default query. If you see data from dbpedia in the response, you're fine. Let's wait what it says. Okay, so here you see a lot of data and there's also dbpedia here. Next, we will make some more configurations to use the tilde services. For this, we have to open the application.properties file. Since it contains passwords, I will use a copy of that file again. We need to add 2 lines to the end of this file, namely the token for tilde translation and for tilde terminology. For now you can use our default token, but in the future this might not be possible anymore. Then you will need to get your own token and use that one. For more information about this, have a look at the tilde service customization article in our documentation. You will find it under Knowledge Base, Freme for API users, e-terminology and e-translation customization. Okay, so let's make the changes in the application.properties file. We need to enter the insert mode again by typing I. And then we add these 2 lines. tilde.translation.authentication equals without spaces and the token. This is our default token. And then tilde.terminology.authentication equals and the token. Okay, so we escape the insert mode, write, enter, quit, enter. Okay, so let's do a call to tilde e-translation in order to see if it's working. First, I'll go to Freme's installation folder. And then I first have to stop Freme. Now I can restart it. And we'll have to wait a couple of seconds again. Okay, so Freme started now. Then we can do the request. Copy it. Okay, great. So the request worked and we got the expected answer. For this request, it's important that you're connected to the internet because we make a request to the tilde service. Okay, so now we are done with all configurations. Next, I will show you how to create a start-stop script for Freme. Let's open the start server script we used to start Freme. I will use Vim again. Now we added the first known comment line and pointed to the Freme installation directory. It's here. Need to enter the insert mode again. Now we can make the modifications. Okay, for me it was home, Freme install, Freme package. Then escape, write and quit. Now we copy that file to etc init.d and call it Freme. I will have to do this with sudo. Now we can stop Freme with this command. Let's verify if Freme isn't running anymore. For this I will do another call to Freme. Yes, so the connection refused, so Freme isn't running anymore. In order to start Freme, you can use this command now. And if you wanted to restart Freme, you have to type restart here. Good. Now I need to tell you that unfortunately there's one issue that hasn't been solved so far. From time to time we get a too many open files error, which is of course not very good. So in order to avoid this, we recommend to restart Freme every day at midnight. I will show you now how to configure this. You have to execute the following two commands. crontab -e. Since I have already done this, you can see my crontab file here. Now you just type what you see in this line here. The first two zeros refer to the minute, the next two zeros refer to the hour, then the next three signs refer to day, month and weekday, and then the command is following. We're almost done. Now I just want to do some tests. That's the last thing I'd like to show you. We have prepared a Postman test suite that you can download from GitHub. You will find it here on the Freme project and Freme project GitHub.io. Then you have to go to Resources, Postman, and here you'll find it, the first one, Freme Test Postman Collection. I will open Postman now. Then you have to import the Postman collection you downloaded and run it. I have already imported it. Here it is, Freme Test. You will also find a description about how to import and run the test suite on our documentation. It is under Knowledge Base, Freme for System Administrators, and then Getting Started for System Administrators. You have to scroll down, the last part here. Now I will run the test suite, but first we have to start Freme again. I go to the log file again. Okay, Freme started, that's good. Okay, so now we can run the tests. So I'll go back to Postman, and then before we can actually run them, we have to create an environment that points to our local Freme installation. So I've already done this. For me it's called Freme Local. It's already selected here. You can have a look at it. Freme Local is the name of the environment, and it has defined the variable base URL. You have to call it like this because it appears in our tests. And then its address. So it's localhost at port 4002, where Freme is running. Okay, Then we can click Runner. And select the test suite, which was called Freme Test, and the environment. So for me it's Freme Local. You can choose any name you want. Okay, let's start the tests now. These tests just verify if the request returns status code 200. So they really just check if the request could be made successfully. Yeah, good. All tests passed. I hope this is also the case for you. So that's all I wanted to show you. When you want to use Freme next time, you have to start Virtuoso and the Solar server and Freme, of course. If you use the basic Freme distribution, you just need to start Freme. I hope you could follow and you have a working Freme installation now. Have fun with Freme!